Joy family. Welcome to the Joyful House. Welcome to my playground and welcome to a brand new week. Hope that you had a great weekend. I did myself, and I'll be sharing that in just a little bit. But first, welcome to the week of November 17th through the 23rd. To get this video started, let's express our joy. Let's sing happy birthday to those in our Joy family that we know that are celebrating birthdays. And just remember, if you don't think I know when your special day is, please let me know, either in a comment below or in an email so that we can celebrate your special day all week long. This week, we are celebrating two birthdays. We are celebrating Miss Gwen's and Miss Sonja's. So if you will, help me sing happy birthday to Gwen and Sonja and anyone else who is celebrating their special day this week. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed expressing your joy and just felt the joy fill your body and your joy tank. And thank you for helping me celebrate Gwen and Sonja's birthday with them. Now, it is time to recap what happened in the Joyful House last week. Well, Tuesday, I spent the better part of that day actually working on the mystery make-along stuff. We will be finishing that mystery make-along tonight in our time together. So definitely looking forward to that. And then I also worked on the baby outfit that I've been working on. And I also spent a little bit of time working on the sweater for Mr. Joyful. Unfortunately, I did not get a crochet heart update out this past weekend, but I hope you'll forgive me when you find out how I celebrated my weekend. All right, then moving on to Wednesday, I did go and spend the day with my parents, and what a lovely day that was. Had a lot of fun there, as always. And then Thursday, I spent the better part of the day after I picked Trayvon up from work. We drove to Columbia, which was about, from where he works, about 45 minutes away. It's about an hour from my house. But anyway, drove him to get his licensing renewed for his job. And I sat in the parking lot and crocheted while he did that, working on the baby outfit. And so, and then working on some ideas that I have coming up in the new year, and kind of doing some outlines on some of the new segments and just really starting to put a lot of thought and process into that. So it was a very productive day, even though I was sitting in a parking lot. And the weather was very, very nice. It got up into the 70s where it had been really, really cold the week before. So I was very, very blessed that the temperature was nice. In fact, I even rolled the window down because it was a little bit more on the warmer side than the colder side. So that was nice. And then let's see. Had several appointments for Mom for, physical therapy, and the nurse is coming out. We hope that this is the last week for the nurse. She's been released from Palmetto Bone and Joint. Her doctor has told her she doesn't have to come back for 4 months. So we're hoping that the home health nurse will spend their last day with us this coming Wednesday, and then she will continue physical therapy 2 days a week. So anyway, so busy with that. And then Friday, you know, I have all kinds of lives going on Fridays. So that was that. And then I spent most of the afternoon working on anything that would need to go out over the weekend so that I could enjoy the weekend. And then the weekend came, and Miss Kim from Southern Winter came and spent the weekend with us. And that pretty much wrapped up our week. Besides play dates, I had several play dates last week. So thank you if you are one of those. I appreciate you coming over and having some one-on-one with me here in the Joyful House. I always look forward to having those with all of you, and even letting you see what I'm working on. So that's awesome. All right, I have some pictures for you to enjoy from our little visit with Kim. And while there's not many, our time was kind of short and it went by really, really fast, but I do have some pictures to share with you. So let's take a moment and enjoy those pictures. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as Mr. Joyful and I enjoyed having her here and enjoying her company. And Grandma Joyful, Miss Faye, she also enjoyed Kim. And they actually had some things in common that they were able to reminisce about, especially where Kim is from, which is in Atlanta. Faye had gone to college there for dentistry. And so that was really cool for them to get to reminisce and stuff. All right. That wraps up last week, and I am ready for this week. Now, before we go chase our fun and see what Annie has for us, let's recap also on what chasing our fun was supposed to look like last week. And Annie told us to be an amateur in our own physical health. Well, you guys, I think I'm still in that brain mode. Don't take it personally, but I have just struggled today. As you can see on the clock, it's rather late in the day. We're going to get it right there. Oh my goodness, it is a little after 3:30, and I'm just now working on this video. I normally try to pick Trayvon up and then come home and start this right away. I just have been lazy. Like, I'm just tired. But I finally buckled up my bootstraps because I do want to do these videos. And besides, I'm going to be taking some time off next week for Thanksgiving and 2 weeks in December. So I definitely want to spend this time with you. All right. But I definitely had no problem being an amateur at taking care of my own physical health. But I am ready for a new week. So if you are ready as well, then let's chase our fun. Okay, let's see what Annie has in store for us. And if you are joining us in for the first time, when I say Annie, my name is Cynthia, but we are looking at this Chase the Fun book by Annie Downs, and she is the one that gives us the encouragement on how to chase our fun week after week. And this week, she says, be an amateur in your own emotional health. Andrew Peterson says, be kind to yourself. Almost a decade ago, Annie said she started counseling going on a weekly or every other week basis. She says, I didn't know how to talk about my feelings. I don't know how to parse them out and organize them in any way that made communicating about them possible. And I didn't know what to do with them once I understood that they existed. Of course, throughout my life, I knew how to say I felt sad, and I felt worried, and I felt happy, and I felt anxious. I just didn't really know how to dig any deeper than that. You got to know this about me historically, she says. I do not like pain. I do not like digging deep into my past, because what if there are things that I've forgotten that are painful and are better left there? What if there's something that has hurt me, but I don't know what it is? Why pick a scab when I don't have to? I recognize this is incredibly backward thinking, but it is how I have learned to cope a long time ago. Look away and it will go away. But counseling changed all of that. I learned that the best course of action is not to ignore. Instead, it's wise to get the sickness out, sweep the corners, check the balance in your bank account, and start the hard conversation. Through appointments with my counselor and a week at on-site workshops, a 7-day counseling intensive meant to help you do good, hard work on some of the deepest pains in your life. The parts of your story that you may not have picked, but have shaped you and your decision-making. Excuse me. I've learned how to live with my pain, not love it, not coddle it, but exist with it. That doesn't make me a professional at therapy, though. Not at all. Every appointment is brand new and unlike any other. I'm an amateur every time I sit down on that couch across from a wise, trained therapist. While I know how to walk myself in and sit down, I don't know where the conversation will go. And I don't know how she is going to respond to what I say. And I don't know how her response is going to draw out the next topic or thought from me. In your own emotional health, be an amateur. Learn about yourself. Listen to yourself. Trust yourself. And share your story with others. So, are you ready for your Chase the Fun challenge for this week? Chase the Fun challenge this week. What is one story you would tell in a therapy appointment? What is one story you would tell in a therapy appointment? Now, you do not have to share, but should you, there may be someone out there that can benefit from your story. And I would love for you to share it in a comment below, or you can email me and I can share it out in the next video if that's easier for you. But I will share one story next week. But right now, I am very excited about chasing my fun and looking at being an amateur at my emotional health, because I think this is one area of my life that I tend to definitely ignore and neglect. And this is part of the reason that I am planning to take next week off and 2 weeks in December. is I think it's time to start taking better care of not just my physical, but definitely my mental and my emotional. That way that my journey in life can be the best that it can possibly be, and I can be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And speaking of that, I am going to leave a link in the description box, and I really, really encourage you to go watch that video. I'm going to be sharing it again as well this coming Friday in Bible chats, but it is something that Mr. Joyful actually sent me today when I kind of texted him and told him that I didn't have the motivation to come do playground video. And he must have stumbled across that and knew exactly what to do with it. And he forwarded it to me. And I was in a play date when it came through, and I was actually able to share it and forward it to the person I had a play date with. And that's how life works. And honestly, my friends, that is why I do these playground videos, is so that we can constantly encourage one another, because we never know that the battles we're going through won't be the motivation that helps someone else trip up that hill as well. So that is why I'm here, and that is why I do the playgrounds, not just to share what goes on behind the scenes in the Joyful House week after week, but also to find ways to not only encourage each and every one of you, but to motivate myself to not only know myself, but get to know you guys better, but also that we can really, truly grow and live life together, encouraging one another and becoming the best versions of ourselves. I also wanted to share that I have been enjoying these storybooks on CD. I just finished this one by James Patterson called Lost, and it was really, really good. And the next one I'm going to be starting is The Noise. So just wanted to share that that's also been something I have been enjoying doing as well, especially while I crochet and as I drive back and forth to take Trayvon to work. I take it in the car and listen to it there as well. All right, I also want to share this little cartoon with you. Okay, well, thank you for being here with me today. This wraps up our time for now, but I hope you have an amazing week, and I definitely hope you'll put some thought into being an amateur at your own emotional health. Be joyful. Stay crafty in your own way. Make your own joyful creations. Be the joy in everything you do, and don't forget to hug yourself daily. I love you guys. Nugs and joy. Mwah. See you next week.